Well, I was on like when I was 19 back in like 2017, it was like kind of like a robbery basically that they charged me with, but they gave me probation. Didn't follow through with the probation. It was like a 3-year probation or whatever. But me being like a knucklehead at the time, I wasn't reporting. And but yeah, so I had to go to prison and do my sentence for that. But I ended up going to fire camp and becoming a firefighter. So it was actually cool. Like they always told me if I ever needed a job as a firefighter, I could always be that. But I learned how to get certified with like cutting down big ass trees. Like, if you ever see those guys who fight the fire, like Eaton, Pasadena, how they send all the inmates and they always talk about, oh my god, like, well, they're only paying these prisoners $1 an hour, 250. That's true. It's like it's fucked up, but yeah.
But you get treated a lot better.
Yeah, you get treated better. You eat better. You got more freedom. They treat you like an adult. Like, you know what I mean. It's not even you go to regular prison. It's
Yeah, because I have friends.
yeah. I mean, it's the best way. You got everything. Phones, weed. We were just like living normal. The only thing you can't do is you can actually. There's no gate to stop you. It's just like, why would you leave if you have? They only let people who have like less than 5 years there, and you ultimately always get those reductions in time. So you get like 5 or like maybe only end up spending 2 to 3 years most at the camp potentially. And yeah, so they have they have a good fighting chance when they go there and they see how you're living. You don't want to go back to the regular prison, and that's like a level 0 because they call it or whatever in the levels of prison. So it's like, damn, that was I got out and so that was in 2020. So I was out for like after when I caught that I was like 2017, and then I ended up basically violating that in 2019, and then going in getting out 2020 in the midst of the pandemic. So it's like, yeah, that was a crazy situation. And yeah, no, I just figured it out from there, getting discharged off parole in like 2022. And then from there just working and yeah, being out of shape, like being in a relationship, getting out of shape is then breaking up, but then continuing on my path and like that. So I was like, damn, you know what? I seen so much progress since that. Like at that point, like we were close to breaking up, but then I had lost myself at so much. Not really like physically. Well, I would say more physically because it's just when you're in that kind of relationship when you're both unhealthy, it's just nah. It's never gonna work out. Like, do you
Um,
have like a intro, or is that kind of like how the podcast starts, like with the?
no, I'm gonna bring you in.
Okay, no, I just didn't know if it was like kind of that. I feel like I didn't know how
Oh shit,
different
bro.
podcast starts and shit. Oh, thank
You
you.
could use. Welcome back to the show, guys. I know it's been a while. I got sick for the last 2 weeks, so I haven't been recording, but we're back. We're ready. We're back to training. Today we got a special guest. We actually have 2 guests, but only one's on camera. This man's training over at Khami Kickboxing. He just recently fought on, I believe, Saturday. Was it this Saturday or last Saturday?
It was in February 22nd, couple of
February.
weeks ago.
A couple
like-
weeks ago. God damn, see, being sick fucked everything up, bro. You know what I mean? He just recently fought. This man, like I said, he trains at Khami Kickboxing, Filipino homie from Long Beach. Welcome to the show. Oh, actually, also, what's your little organization called?
Friendly Fade Factory.
Friendly Fade Factory. It's not even little.
Yep.
It's actually getting pretty big now, dude. Friendly Fade Factory, Khami Kickboxing. Welcome to the show, Bryan Sagbigsal.
Sagbigsal, perfect. You got it.
Well, close
You got
enough,
it.
dude. Bryan,
Hell
bro.
yeah.
Welcome to the show, Bryan.
Hey, thank you, bro.
Bro,
Yeah.
Friendly Fade Factory, dog. Like at first, I'm gonna start with that though, just because I've been watching those posts like all the time, dog. How did you guys
Yeah.
get started with all that? I mean, what was the idea behind that?
Man, the story behind the Friendly Fade Factory. It's a good story. It's like never been told before, so this is
Very
cool that we get
exclusive
the
right
inaugural
here.
time that we get to kind of explain the origins and the lore behind the Friendly Fade Factory. So we started last year, 2024. So it kind of started off with my guy K-Mac the Great. I don't know. A lot of people know him because at this point he's accumulated 250,000 followers on Instagram
Damn.
from going viral. and you know, just doing different things. Started off doing fitness, and always had a unique personality. And you know, he got into boxing. He started to do some shadow boxing, and people were wondering if he could actually fight because he was just this big dude who was just kind of like doing lifting weights and doing different exercises. And now he started to do boxing, and now basically people were challenging him to fight because his video went viral. Like he didn't intend. I mean, he intended for it to go viral on the fitness side, I'm sure, but yeah, like people just started like hated, and it became like a million plus view post. At this point, it has like probably like 3 to 6 million. I don't know exactly,
that's
but
a lot, bro.
it's crazy. Like, basically, he started to find people who wanted to go one on one with him sparring. This dude pulled up all the way from San Diego to fight him at MacArthur Park, and basically they went for I don't know how many rounds, but basically after that first time he posted that went viral again. He started to host it at his grandma's house, and yeah, he got kicked out of there for hosting the fights there because she didn't like
She
it,
wasn't about that.
but she basically pushed him to go even bigger now because we went to different backyards, we went outside, and to different various locations where we ended up blowing up, going even more viral at MacArthur Park and like that, and the backyards where the settings looked even crazier, and people like that underground kind of like fight scene in the dirt and everything like that. So I would say it started all the way back in May. And K Mac, this is how insane this is. K Mac, he only had 3,000 followers in the beginning of the year. Really, like 3,000 in January of last year. When I linked up with him, this was May, and he probably only had like a 5 or 10,000, and he exploded to 250,000. So hosting these fights throughout the summer, and it was blowing up. I came and I was, you know, I was creative directing for a bunch of different other organizations, and I told him I wanted to be his cameraman, and we really locked in. And basically, I helped him start the Instagram, the YouTube. That's why me and him are like, you know, the co-founders of the Friendly Fade Factory. So when it comes to that, uh, that was just a organic relationship that blossomed from me loving the underground fight scene and wanting to get into martial arts. And I kind of brought kickboxing and Muay Thai to the hood and getting maybe really people who want to just fight underground to try it. And it's like really like helping out because now I got people wanting to participate in it. So it's really about just kind of like having fun, growing the game, and bringing the community together because we were pushing that same message, like guns down, gloves up. We got hands, not guns. So that's kind of how that started, and it's just been getting bigger and bigger. So I help him run all the socials, the YouTube. We finally got monetized on YouTube, on Instagram as well. So it's been a journey from literally building it from the mind. Like he said, all right, I want to start Friendly Fade Factory, and that was so like cool to me. I was like, bro, let me help you start everything. Like I'll definitely lock in. Like I had a nice rig and everything. So we started to, you know, record all the fights. I recorded everything. I have a 4 terabyte SSD drive full of fights, and it's like, wow, like you won't even believe this. I have a folder of 30 different time, and it's just now that we're monetized, we can just keep pushing out this content and hopefully make a living off of it because we're averaging good like numbers. All of them are getting over 1,000. So hopefully we could get that to the higher amount. We want to travel, do other stuff, and yeah, no, the story behind that is just insane, and it's still unfolding. So I'm fortunate to be along there for the ride, to be right there with him. Like me and him are locked in. That's like my right hand man when it comes to running the Fade Factory and everything like that.
Dude, I love watching your guys' videos, dude. I've been watching it from, I don't know how, like, if it was the beginning, I gotta check back when I started following you, but I didn't even realize you guys were in Long Beach for your first few videos just because it was just something that would pop up on my feed. And then once I seen you guys were in Long Beach, I was like, oh, dude, I wonder if I can connect with these guys one day, you know? Yeah. But, dude, you guys have some cool videos. And then now you guys are starting to do those versus videos, like where you do like pre-fight interviews. That's pretty tight, dude. You know?
Right.
So yeah, I see you guys make a move, bro. I mean, do you guys plan on making it like an official promotion one day, or do you guys want to keep it underground?
So it's we would love to do that. Probably it costs a lot of money to get the promotional license to run, sanctioned events and stuff. So the way that we have it structured is it's like a training club. We're all doing sparring. And
it's like a PKP kind
it's like it's not like we don't get there's no winners, no losers or whatever. Everybody's just catching a friendly fade.
Yeah, that's
so it's like
I guess
there's
kind of
there's no laws behind doing what we're doing or whatever. Everybody is just kind of going at the capacity. They wear headgear, 16-ounce gloves at minimum. And headgear is obviously optional to anybody, but we kind of just make sure we give it a safe environment for anybody who's participating, whether they have little to no experience. We pair them up based on that size and everything. So it's kind of always fair. Like I basically do the matchmaking, me and him. We're like, oh, this guy and this guy. So
this is like a good fight.
Some people don't care. They're like, all right, I'm gonna pick the hardest guy. I don't care if I get knocked out. Give me a challenge.
I bet.
And it's the best. And it's just like, all right, you go with him. He doesn't care if he gets knocked out.
I make sure you get the most angles on this fight.
yeah. It's like, all right, for sure. Bet. Let's go. Man, I don't know. It's just getting better and better because now we have more people getting into the equation, helping us out with other different things. But so far, it's just been us two kind of really putting it together. So we want to go. We don't want to go official on that end. What we are going official with is our nonprofit. So we have a Got Hands nonprofit where it's in line with our like merch, which I don't know if you've seen the like different shirts that we've had, but it's something that we want to do for the community is start a community center and kind of build more and more, introduce boxing to other people. Really just martial arts. It doesn't have to be boxing, but mainly like a gym in different areas, like a boys and girls club. Basically, we're helping women and children and stuff like that that are in underprivileged areas and stuff get into martial arts, learn them, teach them Muay Thai or kickboxing or boxing and stuff at a gym and, have a bunch of different facilities and kind of, still host the events, get a ring. We want to start with one spot, kind of see if we could maybe get a grant or donors or something that are in line because they see we really were seeking sponsors and like that, but basically we want to go official on that end where we have already. So we're a nonprofit now and we could have members and accept donations that are partially tax write-offs and stuff like that. So it's cool. Like we're trying to expand and learn more about that. We're on our own. We don't have like a bunch of team around us, so we're kind of just learning as we go. But we got a bright future ahead of us based on the following that we have behind, because since I started that Instagram, it was at like 0. Now it's at over 30,000, 31,000 and climbing in 6 months since September. So it's really like big to me. October is really when I really fully put my foot on the gas pedal, but that at the same time, YouTube too. So in that amount of time, we got monetized on YouTube, and now we're starting to see some numbers, starting with cents, but hoping to turn into dollars and thousands.
That's how it usually starts, baby. You're on the right track. Yeah, I would say stay away from the big promotions. Not that I don't think you guys could do it, but I just think that you're providing like a really niche thing for the community. You know what I mean?
Right.
If you become like a legit promotion, it's like no longer like this thing that you see that the youth, because it's like for your promotion, you don't have to have any fight experience.
Yeah.
Like just any type of kid like could go sign up instead of like hanging out with his homies and doing some other shit, it's the unfortunate side of fighting is it costs a lot of money if you're gonna get serious about it,
Right.
The training, the diet, the time away from a regular job, you know what I mean? Your thing is I feel like it's like a good way to get your foot in the door,
Yeah.
So I would say keep it in the keep it in the black market, baby. The black market of fighting, dog.
And that's why it's always just sparring. Like there's no winners or whatever or losers, but Yeah, we'll let the internet and the comment section decide that.
Yeah.
Yeah, who got the better of that exchange. But I think people just feel like they have their pride on the line anyway. So even if they're gonna like just go light, they want to win.
Yeah.
So it's just a little ego. If you don't care, then you don't care. It doesn't matter. But at the end of the day, most men have pride and they just want to go and figure it out. But the different demographic based on who we are, we got people who are just ready to throw hands at all times. And that's how it should be, you know what I mean? But especially if they're coming in for their one time. Some people are regulars. Like for me, I became regular because I'm now practicing martial art with the Muay Thai and kickboxing, Kung Mai. So yeah, I definitely encourage more and more people to at least I encourage all men to like put themselves out there. I don't care if you have experience or not, just to fight one time, at least see where you're at, and hopefully that pushes you to get a little bit of training, and then have fun. Let that be just something that you have under your belt if it's not something that you change your life for. So that really helped me. So that's why I continue to push that, and it all aligned because I started this journey in that December, January, and that's when I linked up with K-Mac in like May and June. So June was just attending, July, August, and then after those first few months, I was like, "Hey, I'm gonna be your cameraman for real." But like I would say 2 months in, I was already recording, but I hadn't posted anything. I told them, "Let me just collect the footage," and it had been like 3 months that passed by, and I was like, I had to lock in, and then now it's finally taken off, like for real. But over a short period of time, so we're hoping to transfer all those 250,000 followers, 280,000 combined. Well, if you combine mine, it's like almost 300,000 to YouTube, so we could get that bag over there because that would be great.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, just start I think getting some type of promotion like getting a brand deal. That's probably the best way to try to get money off of the
Yeah,
internet, you know what I mean? Cuz YouTube and social media is like they don't like to pay a lot, you know? But you can
exactly.
get I don't know like a fucking fight company that makes gloves or something. They'll be willing
Right.
to like pay you a couple of stacks, you know, just to advertise their stuff.
Exactly.
So my advice to you is find someone that is willing to sponsor your guys' program, you know what I mean? Maybe someone local, who
Definitely.
knows, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And that's why we've gone official with the nonprofit. So we could show that out of all of it, this is one thing that I spoke to my partner about that I wanted to emphasize with the Friendly Fade Factory and what we do for the community as a community service. It's different from Street Beefs. It's different from Fight Club Mexico. It's different from Backyard Squabbles. And it's not different in a bad way. It's different in its own unique way one, because we've gone with the nonprofit route and trying to help the community and wanting people to become members and having places where people could come safely spar and learn boxing and stuff like that. It's not a fight club. It's really just becoming a source for the community to come
A community club.
outreach. Yeah, anybody could outreach. We respond to all the messages and stuff like that and vet all the people and stuff. So it's like a good, safe experience. We've had celebrities pop up. Man, I'm talking about like, and even just like the post, like just to name off and fire off a few random names like SZA, liked some of our content, Lamar Jackson, you know what I mean? Freaking what's his name? Matt Barnes. Like it's always funny to see them in our notifications when you're like verified. It's like, oh wow.
It's real, right?
But yeah, no, they're definitely tapped in, like for sure. LA is tapped in.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I think what you're doing is important, bro. And hopefully, you know, you guys can do more events in other parts of LA and Orange County, wherever, you know, because I
Yeah.
think it's something new, and I think it's something that is, I mean, almost necessary because, like I said, a lot of these kids are not doing anything like that. You know, most of them are just hanging out, getting high. You know, none of them know how to fight anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
And now everybody wants to shoot guns and stuff.
exactly, yeah.
So even from a young age. So it's like crazy. You
This
definitely,
goddamn rap music, dog.
yeah,
I mean,
that's what we need to.
Lou and the youth, man. Yeah, no, it's cool, dude. It's cool. And speaking of that, though, earlier you were telling me how you got locked up.
Yeah.
You want to speak on that?
Yeah, so I mean, I'm not gonna go into too much detail because it's open and everything, but let's just
Redacted.
say they it's a beat. Some crazy stuff happened, and they hem me up. Right now, everything is pending, so I'm not gonna go into too much detail about it, like the current stuff, but like other stuff, like I'm down to go through. Like, Yeah.
But if, you spoke on how the case is still pending, and hopefully a judge sees what you're doing for the
Yeah.
community. And I'm not sure how he's gonna respond. He might think it's violent. I don't know. But hopefully he responds
Yeah.
positively.
No, actually, it's funny that you say that because everybody in the community is actually a fan. When we're doing it outdoors, MacArthur Park, they're doing like holiday giveaways and stuff like that. The cops are watching, taking videos, like pulling up, like liking the fades and everything like that. So we've had a bunch of people pull up and actually, spectate. I think actually one random probation officer came through. He might have been
Caught a fade
security
or
or
what?
whatever. No, he didn't
That'd
catch
been
a
so
fade,
hard,
but
bro.
he was yeah, just spectating or whatever. And I think that, he was like armed. He had it on his holster and everything. So I was like, damn, I think he was legit like a sheriff or whatever. So I would definitely say they are aware and they're fans of what we do. And I think that that's something that's obviously super unique because, there's a lot of other organizations that'll get shut down for doing stuff like that. But because it's such a positive thing we got going on, it's not like, we're harming the community. We're actually bringing a bunch of people together, putting the guns down. So it's something good, and they're like actually behind our back when it comes to that moment. Like we wouldn't have so much traction and so many followers behind us if it wasn't for that type of support. So it doesn't have to be out there. They don't have to publicly state that, but we know based on our interactions in real life, we've never had a negative interaction with the police. And I think that's funny because it's just like a universal language. Everybody loves fighting, and it doesn't matter what type of job, title, or whatever different organization you work for. I think that everybody is just a fan of catching fades. So that's why we got the Friendly Fade Factory.
Yes, sir. Real quick, not the side note. Have you ever seen a Chinese top? You know what a Chinese top is?
Chinese top?
Yeah, for joints.
No.
I was kind of doing it when you were talking, and then I was like, I wonder if he's ever seen this. But essentially, you twist the tip, right? You flatten out the bottom, and then you burn around the edges, right, all the way across. And literally, all you do is just boop. Oh, I didn't do it right.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to do. Mine was coming off super slow.
But yeah. So
hell yeah.
Yeah, Chinese top. I don't know why they call it Chinese top. It's a bit racial right now, huh? We're at a war with China, I guess. Or trade war.
Hell yeah.
But anyway, sorry to divert. But yeah, that's cool that cops are behind it, man. I was actually one of the questions I was gonna ask was have you gotten any complaints from like the city or anything? But it sounds like you haven't, right?
Yeah, no. I mean, it's super, super discreet, and it's just almost like training session, the same thing that people will just see at the park, people exercising and stuff like that becomes super normalized. And that's what I love that boxing is bringing out to the community. And we have people pulling out their phones recording. So I think it's like they love it so much. We've had people come out of the crowd to participate when we've been out. So like, hey, let me get in there. They want to get in the glove. So it's just like no complaints. It's hardly ever complaints. Even when we do it anywhere, indoor or outdoor, especially not when we're indoor because we know the people or the backyard or nothing like that. So it's never like disorderly or chaotic. We have structure. The people running it, me, my boy K Mac, and we know how to keep everything straight and make it a safe space for anybody who wants to come. It doesn't matter male, female, experience, no experience fighting ever. So yeah, a lot of fight clubs will set you up or whatever, different things like that. But
That's
it's
tight.
good.
Next time, one of my people was selling Girl Scout cookies, bro. I'm gonna bring them to your event.
Yeah, no,
like,
we need more vendors and stuff like that because we have the locations and everything. We could host big events and everything. So we just need to get more people in line because it's huge. I think if people really, a lot of the people that we dealt with in the industry so far are kind of a bit boomerish so far in my experience. So we haven't had that click with them. They don't understand like the market value of having that type of following, and it's just only growing at this point. So we're just trying to meet the right people. I think that's what it comes down to: meet the right investors or find the right people who are gonna actually pour into it more without trying to take so much from us or whatever like that. Because we want to get into streaming at this point. Because now we can kind of be like on our K Mac has a majority of the followers, and he started the Friendly Fade Factor. I just helped him co-found it. But basically, he's super viral, and me being his right hand man and shit like that. I want to help him get to that Kai Cenat level.
Oh
You
shit,
know what I
Kai
mean?
Cenat,
So
dude. That's big
that's what I
shit,
wanted to
dude.
manifest. Like, I definitely think that he could be as famous as him. He's doing something revolutionary for the community, and it's just like crazy. I definitely know we could get into our bag and get to a significant point where he already feels like at this point he's made so much impact. He's already made it, not necessarily made it, but like he's accomplished so much, and it's now just time to keep elevating and stuff like that. So I want to show him that he could be as legendary as he knows he could be. Because in his head, he could be that. I know it just takes more and more people to keep pushing that. Because a lot of people always want to be the main character or be the spotlight when a lot of people come around. Even I don't know how it relates to the fight industry, but basically when it comes to even like more in like the music industry with rappers and their circle and stuff like that. Let's just say that analogy, like there might be other people rapping, they want to try to push their own music or whatever, but in this essence, we have somebody who's like the golden goose, and he just need to keep uplifting him and helping him do his thing because it's just like big. Like I really believe in my boy K Mac and what we're doing because if he didn't start that, I would have never met him. Well, I would have met him because I wanted to get him on back. So the original story, like kind of the backtrack, is I DM'd K Mac in 2024 February. He only had 3,000 followers. Only like one video went viral from him. And it was him doing a bunch of hooks in his bedroom. And basically, it went super viral. People thought they could beat him up. And I was like, hey, people think they could beat you up or whatever. I didn't say that, but I was just thinking in my head, like, hey, did you want to fight at the next event at Backyard Squabbles 2? This is our next event that's sanctioned MMA. You could do boxing or whatever. It's fine. We'll call it a stand and bang or whatever if you wanted to, or full rules if you wanted to do MMA. And I just asked him if he wanted to fight, and he was like, "Oh, I would need like 5 or 10,000." I was like,
Oh,
"What the
that's not even
fuck?" I was
professional
like, "Bro,
fighters
I'm
are getting
telling you,
that,
that's what I'm
bro.
saying." I was like, "That's way too much." I was like, I just told him, I was like,
Dog.
"Yeah, we can't do that. It's the only way you can make money is if you sell a bunch of tickets." But
It's a lot of
best of
tickets
luck
though,
to you. I
bro.
appreciate you or whatever, and we'll be in touch soon. So after February, like I said, the next time we got in touch with him was May of last year. So some months goes by, and he goes viral again for doing a bunch of other workout videos. And he came to the Backyard Squabbles office where I was working at, and it was me, the founder of Backyard Squabbles, and the other two co-founders, Josh and Goot. And we were all sitting there in a meeting, three of us and him. And he came and was like, "All right, how can we do an event together?" And he thought about doing some sparring. So we used the facilities to host a sparring for like 1 or 2 times, and ultimately moved to one of the other co-founders' backyard. Do it went there, and it went even more viral. So yeah, no, that was kind of just of a connection that we made and everything like that. And we just kept going because yeah, June when we really started to do the Fade Factory and stuff like that. But I forgot what was the question. I was faded.
I don't know, man. I'm faded too now.
Yeah,
I don't know, bro. But I got another question though.
yeah.
So basically, Friendly Fade Factory was kind of like an offshoot of Backyard Squabbles.
No, it's not like that. It's
There's
just
like
that
some
I
connection though,
so
right?
I was working. I'm still working with the two founders of Backyard Squabbles. I'm their kind of like you could say their creative director. I upload everything to the YouTube and stuff, and did all the thumbnails and titles and help do all the main cam stuff during the day of the production or for the events. So main cam editor. I do the pre-fight interviews, post-fight interviews, so I'm doing everything over there. I'm basically their camera person. That's how it started. When we first linked up with them, it was like a group of me and a couple other videographers, photographers, and we had a team, and then they all bailed out, and it just came me, and I was like, bro, let me just take over and help you, and we'll go up. And yeah, we've done a bunch of different videos. It's like, yeah, you should check that out. Like on YouTube, the Friendly Fade Factory and Backyard Squabbles. Like, I wouldn't say, so my bad, to backtrack and answer your question, it's not an offset of that. It's just I wanted to meet him be a fighter. He didn't want to do it. He came back around. He had more followers at the time, but the owners of, founders of Backyard Squabbles, they were like, no, we're not trying to do an event right now. So I just told him, it's like, all right, well, you should keep doing your event, keep it underground, and I'll be your, videographer. Because he met him, and that was the role that I was playing there. So he kind of knew me as the camera guy already. So I was like, all right, bet I'm gonna be somebody who could do it for him potentially. But at first, I wasn't really taking that seriously. I was just going there to fight and bringing the camera, recording a little bit casually. And then I was like, all right, Lo, there's something here.
Yeah.
Like, we definitely need to monetize this and get it going. And yeah, that's kind of where it all took off.
So you would like show up, fight, and then record at the same time?
Yeah, exactly.
Who was recording while you were fighting? You just give it to a random person or what?
No, so either sometimes they wouldn't. That's why I would never get a bunch of videos of myself, because I would I'd be the main one.
So
but
hard, bro.
It was for the content.
I would just put it on a tripod and be like, fuck
yeah,
it.
Exactly. Sometimes I'd hand it to a couple different people, but there's never anybody I would trust. Like, I use a cinema lens, so it's like you had a manual focus. So I was like, really on that level. I had a nice rig.
It's probably expensive camera right there, bro.
No,
what are you using, a area or what?
I had a Sony A7 III.
A7.
Yeah, with like a 24 millimeter wide angle, cinema lens, and it was cool, bro. I'm telling you, it made everything look crazy.
Yeah, my sister just got an A7, bro. I'm jealous, bro.
Yeah, those are good investments. I got it back in like 2021, and when it was still like 2000 with that and the kit lens, the body and the kit lens. But you could find them now for $1,000, used, maybe even kind of new if you get lucky. But it's a good quality. But everybody's shooting now for like the FX3 and stuff like that. So
yeah, they're coming out with the version 2 soon.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a sick ass camera.
Yeah, if you want to get into like documentary filmmaking, those are the ones you got to do. Like,
yeah.
So, but other than that, content creation, get by with a lot of different
cell phones,
stuff.
Bro.
Yeah,
bro, I started this podcast with cell phones, bro.
Yeah,
way back in the day, dude.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you're working with Backyard Squabbles. You're fighting and working with Friendly Fade Factory on the side. I mean, did they ever get kind of? I mean, because that's kind of like almost like a conflict of interest in a way, right? Did they ever get kind of like butthurt?
No. They all support the movement. Like, I think, honestly, being the person in the middle of all of that, because I like both organizations, but they just didn't see. I think it wasn't a conflict of interest. I think when we first came together, I wasn't officially an organization or had ties with KMAC at the time, and I didn't have a size, and really I was like kind of, even though I was on Backyard Squabble size, I was like still an independent at that time. So I was just like, my loyalty lied with them, obviously, but I saw something so great. I had to tell them, I was like, bro, like, I have to hook you up and be your cameraman. If you want to do those backyard fights, we could do all of that. Like, come on, like, if you can't tell, like, his personality is like insane to at this point where he's like getting millions of views just talking to the camera or throwing his hooks, like it's definitely something special that I saw early on before he had all the followers and stuff like that. And kind of like Nostradamus, Fadestradamus.
Yeah,
I seen the Fadestradamus, and we're just taking off. I'm barely getting the merch sorted and everything like that, but yeah, no. Well, I forgot what the original question was.
Conflict of interest, but
no,
he's an entertaining guy though, for sure, bro.
For sure,
some people got that,
Yeah, they support it too. They want to come participate and everything like that. The Backyard Squabbles people, Goo and Josh and everything, and so it's not like it's never bad blood or whatever. So I think that even though they may never throw Friendly Fade Factory and Backyard Squabbles, they've already done like an event together, so it wasn't like that. But no, it's never been bad. I have it tatted on my phone.
That's hard, bro.
Yeah, Backyard Squabbles. So
that's so hard, bro.
They know But Backyard Squabbles tough, and Friendly Fade Factory is just something that's different. That's what I was saying. Backyard Squabbles is now a sanctioned MMA promotion.
They're so big.
They
now,
had
bro.
to go and applaud to them, because the founders, at the time, they probably were 21 or 22 at the time when they got their camo promoter license.
Damn, that's crazy.
So they both put the money up and got like a surety bond or whatever, and started the promotion and everything like that. And they took off since then and throw two official events since they got it, but a lot of different, sparring events and stuff like that. So it's cool that they're in that lane, because that's how it started in the backyard. They had a ring and they were doing unsanctioned fights, declaring winners to the knockout MMA gloves, like some real like street beef shit. So that's how they're so viral. Like, even my boy right here behind the camera, he got knocked out cold in the backyard. When this probably made them super viral. He probably told me that it's one of their most viral clips of all time. Head kick, boom,
Damn.
and just hits the floor. And he broke his nose. Like, it was crazy.
What round was that?
First round. First round. He got knocked out in the first round.
Damn.
But you know what? He took on somebody who is way bigger than him in size, and he had a little bit more experience than him. How big is Reggie Rocket? 6'2", and how much did he weigh? 240. Yeah, he was big, not that big at the time, probably like 200 or something. But he took a fade in the backyard. Yeah, he's 200, but yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. So it was always pretty cool.
How much? What are you weighing now, Justin? Justin looks high, bro. Bro, he's not like chill. Well, you fought at WCK, right? So what was the weight at 112 or 212?
He fought at 175.
Oh, 175.
Yeah.
175. Damn.
He didn't have to cut weight at all. And this was crazy. He was on point for weight. And then he was started off at the camp at that, and then took it light during the camp. And then he ended up getting off point and having to lose weight. So that's how much of a funny guy he is. And then he ended up making it easy and then beating his guy, dusting him off.
Yeah. Dude, that last fight was sick, though. I remember your fight, bro. That was hard, bro. I didn't remember you at first, but now it's all coming back to me, dude. Did you remember that? How I was like, bro, you ate that head kick and you kept coming forward, and you're like, I didn't get head kicked.
Yeah.
And I posted the video, and it's funny because he just brought up how he got head kicked at Backyard Squabbles.
Yeah.
That one was bad.
Oh, from the left side? Damn.
Yeah. If you haven't seen that knockout, you need to look that up on your own time. Backyard Squabbles, Baby Peso versus Reggie Rocket.
Baby Peso, that's your nickname?
That was his nickname, Baby Peso.
It was. We're done with that?
And yeah, Reggie Rocket.
We're done with Baby Peso.
And it's funny because that guy, that's probably like his third or fourth win at Backyard Squabbles, and he retired after fighting him. So I always kind of bring that up. It's kind of like, it's over. It's over. He basically
you gotta call him out now. You know,
I think he would beat him now.
Be like, meet me at 180.
You got to put a clip of that knockout on there if you make it.
Maybe you guys can get that friendly fade, bro. Set that up, bro.
Ooh, I know that would be the same.
Dude,
bring him back.
That's matchmaking right there, dog.
No, I know. It's cool. That's one thing about it. Like, even I have talked to the matchmaker at WCK, Hung, and been at his gym and stuff like that. And we have a relationship there, and it's like you end up meeting so many fighters and stuff, and having that connection. It's cool that he's putting on like the best fights, and now that we're meeting such a big pool of people in LA that have come through the Fade Factory, meeting like the best fighters, and that's why we want to kind of like get those people and throw a bigger event and do stuff like that and keep promoting the sport and stuff like that. It's crazy. We've done so many different things from outside of boxing, like bringing kickboxing and Muay Thai to the hood, and we threw a Taekwondo fight.
Whoa.
Did you see that?
No, I didn't see that one.
Okay, so there's a Mexican guy. His name is OG. And Jose Melendez. Yeah, you guys got to find this guy. He's the most funniest guy ever on Instagram. And he does Taekwondo in LA. And my bad for laughing, but basically it's actually pretty funny because he's I don't want to put his business out there, but I'll do a little bit. because he's told me he doesn't care. Like, so my boy Jose, he definitely is a former addict in a sense. He used to do crystal meth and he was smoked out and stuff like that. And then he ended up changing his life because he was getting pulled over and he had like an 8 ball of meth, he told me, and he swallowed it and he almost had a heart attack, but he got away and he like vowed to himself he'll never do it
If I
again
live,
because
God, please,
he's like he got so high that he's like, bro, like I'll never do it again. But he changed his life. He has like a 12-year-old daughter that he in doing taekwondo with her. But it's hilarious because we always tell him he cross trains with us. He's like, those snappy kicks don't work. Like, you know, obviously some people who are really good at the spinning kicks and stuff like that.
Yeah,
that
with
translates.
but the roundhouse,
when,
and the
yeah,
switch,
all that
I
shit.
agree,
He's like,
yeah.
and he's like, no, that's what I like to do. So we'll fight, and he likes to do his taekwondo, and I'll use Muay Thai, and he just always leaves the gym bruised up and everything. So it's hilarious. He has heart. He's like 41 years old, and he's a beast. And I definitely think he's a good role model for anybody out there because he's a second black belt, the second Dan black belt in taekwondo at his gym. He passed all the tests and everything. So I think it's something good that we're doing for the community, even older people you can see, like, for not say 40's old. Take that back when I'm 40, but
I'm almost 40 shit.
Right
bro.
now, I'll say at 41, but he used to be smoked out. It's different. So his age, he looks like he's 50. He looks like he's 50. So it's like, damn.
He's got that meth aging, bro.
Yeah, exactly. But he's healthy now. That's all that matters. He's like, he's in there, not really healthy. He still is fat. Like he needs to lose weight. He has like a gut. Because he always asks me, this is the funny part.
He's I can eat now.
I think this is what a lot of people experience after you lose a lot of weight or even are training or fighting or in the gym. People ask you, hey, and just imagine he's just like, his English isn't very well. What's the best way? Like he's asking me like strictly business. So tell me, what's the best way to lose weight? Because man, I don't want to be on a straight diet. Like he even puts it on his story, like his healthy meal, and he says straight diet. It doesn't say strict diet. It was like, I don't want to be on a straight diet. I was like, tell him like, bro, what are you eating? And he told me he's just eating all the bad shit. It's funny because he'll post a story with like 2 Little Caesars like boxes, and then he'll call me like, bro, I don't know why I'm not losing any weight. Damn. I'm like, you always meet those people that are like, never know why they can't lose weight, but they're like eating so much. I'm like, bro, just one of them.
Yeah,
he's a character. I love him. Just a 40-year-old taekwondo.
Yeah, I did taekwondo for a while, bro. It's fun. It's fun, bro. But there's a lot of shit that's not usable, bro. The snapping kicks for sure, you know. But like side kicks, and spinning. Bro, side kicks are money, bro. Yeah. Especially for that Muay Thai stance where you're general, like most of the time you see a leg go up, you just naturally want to check, bro. Yeah. So that f***s you up for like if a side kick comes, you're on one leg, you know?
Right. Side kicks and spinning back kicks. Those are the 2 things.
Yeah.
And even like
head kicks. I mean, you can snap a head kick, I guess.
Kind of. Yeah.
Body's not going to do much. Snapping up to the legs not going to do much.
The spinning heel kicks to the head.
Yeah, like if you throw that as sparring or what?
Nah,
that'd be so gnarly. That would be so gnarly.
No, I don't do that.
Does your homie throw him as sparring or what?
Nah, nobody like that. That's kind of like a dick move to do that. But I definitely.
Once or twice. Yeah, that's cool, bro. That's cool. So I mean, when's the next event for Friendly Fade?
So we try to keep it not necessarily like scheduled routinely because we're trying to now like move into like level up, do some bigger stuff, kind of organize maybe even bigger events. So that way we could kind of bring the community together and get some more vendors and sponsorships and
taco
show
trucks
that
where
we're
you
moving
at
and stuff like that. So can't say exactly when the next one will be, but we'll be, posting all the time. And all we have to do that's the great thing about having the active followers on Instagram, like 200,000, 300,000 people that are always that will post. And then all we have to do is just see, tell everybody where we're at. So we don't always necessarily need to be on a schedule, and we could just hit people up. We have such a big like amount of people that have come to the Fade Factory that always want to come back, or new people inquiring like, bro, how do I catch a fade? How do I catch a fade? My DMs are flooded right now. Like I could go through all the requests and it's like, damn, like I'm trying to sign up. But it is funny because a lot of them are like, oh, I'm from New Jersey. I'm in North Carolina. I'm in New York. I'm in
Come out to
Florida.
Cali, bro.
Like, bro, that's
I
why
wanna
I
play,
want to.
dog.
That's why I want. Well, we've had people come from Texas. We've had people come from Georgia. We've had people like literally. There's this one crash out named Draco. Yeah, and we did a whole video on him, and he came fresh out of rehab to fight and squabble up, and he did his thing, and then
That's hard though. I respect that. I respect
and
that.
then he left, and then went relapsed, and then went back to rehab, and then came back after being fresh out of rehab, wearing the rehab shirt, and caught more fades, like 3 more fades. It was crazy.
Yeah.
So I mean, we always just want to support somebody, even if they're probably not his fault that he's well, it's his fault that he's
1,000% his fault, but
like,
you know, it happens.
yeah, it happens.
So it doesn't mean we don't have to like him.
He's like mentally ill. I think that's the part that I'm saying. It's like, yeah, it's a choice that he does the drugs and shit, but it's like at a certain point when somebody with mental illness with no support, like they can't do anything. Yeah, exactly. It's like a special ed person with no helper.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, I mean, hopefully you guys can inspire him to train and
yeah,
stuff.
No, we have. He actually got he took a boxing match recently, like an underground one, but settling some sort of conflict that he had with another guy named Donnie, and yeah, he got beat up kind of bad, so he had a wake up call, but he's gonna get there. He's really loves boxing, and there's a clip of him like going crazy, like how much he loves boxing. Like he doesn't care if he's bloodied up or anything. Like he don't care if he dies. Basically, that's what he said.
Sign the contract, bro.
This is boxing. This ain't no little pussy. The kid, like he's like, yeah, no, he was going off like, yeah.
Yeah, that's tight. That's tight, dude. Yeah. Well, next time we have an event, I'll try to make it out to it. So hopefully soon. You know what I mean? Let me know, dog. Speaking of, you spoke about Hung earlier though, bro. Dude, that guy is so knowledgeable, bro, and he's super friendly, dog. Like, if you get the opportunity to pick his brain, bro, ask him some questions, bro. That fool will drop some knowledge, dude. You know, he's a chill guy.
Yeah, hell yeah. When I went to the open workout for WCK, I got to get in the ring with him, move around, and then do a little work with everybody else. Michael Claycomb, who's fighting on the next card, and then kind of just move around with Evan Bolton and Cameron Spencer over there. So really good. Bro. Yeah, getting my ass kicked a little bit. We were being nice and everything because we're just a couple weeks out for the fight and stuff, a week out for the fight at that point. And yeah, no, it was good. It was good. Like I really, he told me that I was looking pretty decent out there, so keep going with it. And I definitely just want to hold that up and know that my training is doing its thing. So I'm gonna put my best foot forward, and yeah, it's cool. With Hung, we had a good relationship, and I see he's like a beast. Seeing how he's competed before, and then seeing how he's moving in the ring when I'm finally like in there with him, yeah, he's a different animal.
Yeah, no, he's a savage, and he only has sight in one of his eyes, bro. To even catch pads is like the depth perception, bro. You know what I mean? That's a skill in itself, bro. You know? Yeah,
you would never know. You would never know if you fought him.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, he's a savage, bro. He can do that. That he's blooded in, man. If you hear his stories on like who he used to train with, he ran with that Can't Stop Crazy crew, all that shit, bro. Like,
Yeah.
He's one of Colin Oyama. He came from his gym.
Yeah.
So
Rampage and all of them. I seen a lot of the throwbacks that he posts and stuff. I was like, damn, he was
crazy, huh?
Badass, like for sure.
I know he's like small too, bro. You wouldn't even know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. That fool's a little G too. He grew up in Westminster. He's like,
we have that short connection because I'm like maybe like an inch taller than him, inch and a half, 2 inches. So I'm like maybe like 5'6", 5'7", probably like 5'4", 5'5", and I'm like right next to him. I was like, all right, we're the same. Like he showed me some moves at the open workout. I was like, yep, this is. We got
short people stuff right here, bro.
Short people stuff right here. Like it's the sauce. It's the sauce.
Hey, that's 1,000% facts, bro. One thing, one thing, if you never really trained before, one thing you don't realize is how important it is to find a gym with people that are similar in size and a coach who's similar in size. You know,
Right.
like it's like for you to go train at a gym where it's all heavyweights. It's like a lot of stuff your coach is gonna be training is not gonna be applicable to, you know, because most of the time he's gonna be like, you know, fucking try to find that big shot, you know. But the smaller cards, it's all about like volume. You know what I mean?
Right.
But yeah, a little tidbit. Yeah, man, that's cool. That's cool. How old are you, bro?
27.
27? Okay.
Be 28 this year, but I'm holding on to that because after a while, I was like, I wanted to always be older, and now I'm like, all right, nah, let's slow that down. But I'm 27 right now. I'm cool. Happy to be my age. Don't want to be any older or younger. I'm, you know, that's where I'm at.
30's right there, dog. I'm 34, bro. I feel old now.
Nah, that's not old. They're hitting your peak.
I thought that by this age I'd be like done with getting tattoos and I'd have like a big ass house.
Yeah. Well,
there's some neither is true, you know?
Yep. Yeah. I think it's always like the goals that you're setting, you have to just keep going forward with it, never stop pursuing like what you have in mind relentlessly. If that's your goal to be wherever you're at, and you just got to keep putting your best foot forward no matter what, because it's inevitable. If you work hard enough and you have a good enough drive and direction and a plan, obviously you can't just like have the vision with no action. Otherwise that's just that's just a dream. You know what I mean? Vision without action is just a dream.
It's just a dream, baby. Yeah. How does your coach feel about like Friendly Fate Factory? Has he gone to any events or anything?
So a couple of the guys that are like the OGs and stuff that have been going there a long time have gone. Like the two coaches that we have that are officially like our coaches are Master Ron, and I don't know, how old is Ron? He's like 60, so he's like old. He's never popped up to an event. He's just not like that. And our other coach, Master Omri, who's the legend, he's like in his 80s, so he's never popped out. But
damn, 60 and 80. You said like 60 and 80, bro?
Yeah, so
those are your head coach. Yeah. Holy that's crazy,
yeah. Bro. And they still hold pads. That's
my next question.
He's like 89 holding pads. I think. I don't know. Crazy. Yeah, he's still a beast. Like pop. Like he's in going to the events, like speaking and stuff. So he has a crazy warrior spirit. I don't think that he'll live a long time or whatever. Knock on wood type. So he's those are our two head coaches and stuff. So to put it down that perspective, they don't really
know about
like
the internet, right?
They're not even hip to the internet. And actually, I've told them about it, showed them videos, they like it. They're like, "Oh wow, you did good! Like you fucking them up for sure."
Yeah.
And not to say put it like crazy like that, but they they enjoy that same thing because it's kind of just like, all right, sparring and stuff. We tell them it's not like sanctioned fights and stuff like that, but we're doing our thing and they like it that we're using and practicing and doing good, because only two people that really train out of the gym and go there is more people have come, but it's just me and my boy over here. He went viral for his name being Juan Strickland, but he goes by he was fools. I mean, he looked like Sean Strickland with his haircut at the time and the way his beard was looking.
Yeah.
So we called him Juan Strickland and it went viral. And what was I saying? That was funny as before that.
You were just talking about how only a few people gone to Fate Factory.
Yeah. So we were only two of us were going over there. So that's what I say. Like, out of the people that were showing the videos, just me and Justin are showing it to like my guy Ron. Ron he's still pretty hip with the times. He can look stuff up on YouTube, and he's not like completely out of. He barely knows how to use Instagram, but he'll use Facebook. Uh-huh. He's that age. I don't know. There's a category. He's like, there's a cutoff. Like they only know how to use Facebook.
He's like, this is where
they barely know how to use Instagram. That's like the boomer.
No, he did.
No way. So okay, he knows how to send reels.
He's figuring it out, bro.
He's figuring it out. He's like a slow learning AI.
Go on, bro.
Just machine learning when it comes to like teaching people over the age of 50 how to use technology.
Yeah.
So yeah. I'm glad that I think our generation is gonna raise that threshold.
Hopefully.
We'll hopefully know how to use the most current technology till we turn 100. Now, you know,
I don't know,
like,
'cause
let's say 50, 60, like, are we gonna be completely out of the loop?
I think we're gonna get to a time right now where people are gonna put like metal, like bionic, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm not down for that. I'm not gonna do
What
that.
do you mean, like the Neuralink type thing?
I think it's gonna go past that, you know.
Damn, they're gonna control our thoughts or bodies, or that's why I never want to get like a fully EV car, because they could do like they could shut your car down or take it
Oh,
over.
yeah.
So I'm like, damn, if the police get into a pursuit or whatever, not saying I'll run from the police, but let's just say
Sorry for prepared for it, though.
that's just one of the main reasons that let's say if it's a robbery though, they had like an EMP or something or some sort of, they hack the technology to do that. It becomes more mainstream where they know that how to do that, disable cars and stuff. You would never do that with something that's a gas powered car.
I think they can though. I think they still can, even though it's gas.
They
'Cause
can
it's
hack a gas powered car.
Yeah, because it's still all
and
under
shut
the
it down.
ECU.
Oh.
And
Yeah,
stuff,
that's true.
yeah.
If they do an like if it was EMP for
No,
real,
well, they had that journalist dude that was he basically died because the brakes on his Mercedes failed.
but
But then like I don't know if it was the CIA or someone had said that it was it was like another agency. It was like some Middle Eastern country had done like an assassination on him because he had done a story on some like general in the Middle
Yeah.
East, you know, and this fool ended up getting fired because of it, you know, because he was like talking to the president or something, but he didn't know this fool was going to publish all that.
yeah,
Anyway, but they said that the CIA said that they think they did it because they hacked this fucking car. It was a brand new Mercedes. It was 2012 at the time or something, and they were able to control the brakes off that. So I'm just saying it can be done, bro. But it doesn't even matter because in the future, it's not even gonna be that. You're gonna have computer shit in your brain, in your arms, bro.
no.
You're gonna fuck up, bro. And you're just not.
I feel like you're gonna microchip babies.
They're gonna they're gonna microchip
like,
babies, bro.
I don't know.
Bro, you're
Who
gonna
knows?
have a bad thought of something illegal, and a warning sign's gonna come up in your brain or some shit, bro. It's gonna
They're
tell
gonna
you,
arrest
hey,
you from thinking
yeah, I
bad.
mean,
That's like that. I don't know. It was maybe like a few years ago when I learned about the social credit score in China.
Yeah. It's gonna
was
be that
crazy.
times 1,000. But then get this, bro. Let's say your parents, bro. They're probably gonna have control of it too. They're probably gonna be able to put like blockers, some parental blockers, you know.
Right.
So let's say
This is like an episode of Black Mirror right here.
So I've been thinking about this, bro, because I just saw a documentary on this fool that he's like putting cyborg in his brain. You know, I didn't finish. I fell asleep, so I don't know how that ended up. But anyways,
Yeah.
like I said, dude, and your parents, bro, if they're like, let's say they're Mormons, they're gonna make it so you can't have sex, you can't, you know what I mean, look at chicks, those certain
Or
type.
Scientologists, even worse.
Yeah, I don't know. Are they worse, bro?
I think a Scientologist is probably worse than Mormons for sure.
in terms of how
It's
they
like
make
a
you
cult.
live. It's definitely like a cult.
I'll send you some videos. They're gonna be like, you'll see what. Not like there's not super deep explanations, but they're just people just kind of just like trying to get themselves into the more Scientologist church, and they're trying to inquire, and they're like super secretive.
Yeah, they don't let you
and they
join.
don't
You
let
can't
you
join. Yeah, you have
it's
to be
just like
invited.
weird. Like
Yeah.
so it's kind of at that point where some people were trying to infiltrate, and some of them infiltrated, and it's like some YouTubers. So it's not like they were trying to do it as a way of like an expose. So it's kind of cool to see that.
I
And
like
I would
that shit.
definitely say that they have some. I don't want to get kidnapped by the Scientologist, but hopefully they're not a mob and they take me out. But they definitely are crazy. They have some wild beliefs. So yeah, some different vloggers have gone through and tried to see what that's all about, and it's definitely eye opening to say that like. I never thought it was like that. I thought it was just any other religion, but they're secretive.
Yeah.
So that's worse than, it's like a cult. Like compared to the Mormon church is more friendly.
Yeah, Mormons are way more friendly. I think
Yeah.
out of all the religious people, Mormons are the only ones that haven't started wars, right?
I guess
They're the only ones that
so.
never went to war, bro.
That's crazy.
It's also one of the newer ones, but I mean, I guess Scientology technically hasn't started a war either. But Mormons are just nicer, bro. Just in general, my homie married a chick that was Mormon. She was because she converted out of it, you know.
I want to start a religion called Fadianity.
You just get faded or what? Or throw hands or
No,
what?
you just catch fades. Yeah, like church.
Like a
You know what
fight
I mean?
religion. I'm sure there's some in like some weird country. But Scientology, bro, I know that they have this thing called like the Sea Orgs. You know the Sea Orgs?
Yeah.
And for people that don't know, it's basically like what was the guy's name that invented John Smith? That's the dude from Mormons, right?
Yeah.
William, no, not William Randolph. What was the name of the dude that Scientology. Anyways,
Lil Ron Hubbard.
L. Ron Hubbard.
L. Ron Hubbard.
L. Ron Hubbard believed like a flood event was gonna happen again, right?
Yeah.
So this fool basically like bought a boat, like a big ass boat to live on, like a yacht, and he had like 12 females move in with him, and like he pulled them from their families when they were like I think like 12 or something. So like you'd always be like bringing these females in, like he basically like let's say you're a Scientologist, they would just tell you like, hey, we want your daughter, you know, and the families would willingly give her up, bro. That was it. She'd be removed from the family forever, bro. This is actual thing. It's crazy. Anyway, so these Sea Orgs, the whole point was to live on this boat. So if the flood does happen, they can repopulate like the world. But anyways, they basically would get married to like higher ranking Scientology members, right? So it was like he would have this female with them. Let's say she got to like 18, 19, whatever. He would be like, oh, like to a rich Scientologist that donated a lot of money. He'd be like, oh, you made it up to the final level, bro. You know, you're still single, so we're gonna give you a Sea Org. You know, that's that what was that actor's name that married
Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise. He was married to a Sea Org, bro.
Dang.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, no. In this one YouTube video, they're explaining that like once they get indoctrinated or whatever into it, they go through this kind of like a brainwashing phase, and they teach them, and like the origins are like we're all spirits from like extraterrestrial beings, and then we're getting into a human host or whatever.
Yeah, there's photons everywhere.
Yeah, we're just kind of like embodying this human thing. We're a spirit from outer space, and we're just in this as vessel. The body, like we're humans on Earth. This is just a vessel that we're in, and basically it goes deeper into it. I don't know, but we're kind of figuring it out. They believe that everything good or bad that happens to us is kind of just like from other spirits or whatever, and it just goes deeper, like down the rabbit hole.
Really crazy shit.
Culty crazy.
Yeah, I think they think we came from another planet because something had happened, resources or something, and they found Earth, and supposedly we were all frozen. They drove into a volcano to melt us, and then we basically our ancestors got released and took over like humans or whatever, right? So, anyways, they tell you got to get like a cleansing, and you got to pay for this cleansing. You got to do it like once a month or some shit.
What the fuck?
And yeah, I don't remember what they call it, but they give you like these 2 sticks you gotta hold, whatever. They're supposed to clean you, but it's supposed to remove your body from, I think they call them photons or phantoms or something. And it's just like because you're not from this land, it's like there's these things that are like hurting you, that are native to here, and so we're cleaning that out of our system.
Yeah,
it's so crazy because I'm just like, well, then how come people that don't do that, how come they're not dead?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Anyways, but the whole point of it is you pay for this, and you got to do it every so often. So it's just constant money for the church to make. There's other weird shit too, where they're talking about like they make members buy like thousands of books, and then they make them donate it back to the church. Just to basically, it's just ways for the church to keep like making money. You know what I mean? So they'll make you buy like a pallet of Bibles, and then donate it to the church. So you're buying the Bibles from the church to give back to the church, bro.
Yeah.
Anyways, it gets crazy. They're all crazy in their own way. I don't know how we got sidetracked into this, but I just saw that.
I forgot too. I don't know.
I just saw the movie Heretic last night, or a few nights ago. Have you seen that movie?
Heretic? No.
It's like a scary movie where this dude's like, it's like he's a theology major, and he basically is trying to murder these 2 Mormons.
What?
Yeah.
It's a horror movie that he's trying to murder 2 Mormons?
Yeah, like he's like he's debating them like about religion, and there's some stuff that is pretty truthful in there. Like when
they knew him, or he's just targeting them?
Nah, he like hit him up saying that he wanted to convert to Mormonism, or what do they call it now? Latter-day Saints is a new word for it, right?
This is in the theaters right now?
I don't know. I just saw it online, so it's probably might be in theaters,
okay.
I just pirated it.
What was it called?
Heretic. I'll send it to you.
Heretic. Okay.
It's interesting, bro. And he like towards the end of the movie, he brings up like the similarities between like God and like these Egyptian gods and all that shit.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not a theology major. I don't know how truthful it is, but it convinced me.
Yeah.
It's all pretty fascinating. So you grew up in Long Beach?
Yeah, born and raised in Long Beach.
I like Long Beach, dude. I thought about moving there a few years ago.
I'm not gonna lie, I got the best like city pool out of all of the places I could have been born.
Oh, for sure, dude.
Long Beach is the best. And I don't say that with bias. I say that truly because it is the dead center of LA and OC.
Yeah.
So you get a blend of that kind of just more, so you get a little bit inner city suburb feel depending on what neighborhood or you live in, but at the same time you get exposed to it, so you're not blind to all these different issues, and you can kind of like be aware of it and learn how to deal with it at a young age with the homelessness and the crackheads and like that. So that's just one aspect, but Long Beach is cool. Like I think to this day is one of the best places that you can live because you don't have to deal with as worse as the problems are in LA with like Skid Row and different stuff like that and the parking and everything. Well, parking is bad here in Long Beach, but
Parking is so bad in Long Beach,
yeah,
bro.
so
But not as bad as like
yeah,
downtown or something.
yeah, downtown and just that you're dealing with the traffic and stuff, how long it takes to go a mile, but it's smack dab in the middle and everything like that. So yeah, I've lived, bounced around a little bit after, I graduated when I was working different jobs in OC, Santa Ana, Irvine, and stuff like that. So, working at call centers and stuff. So, it was funny. I did move around and I've kind of like got to see it's truly better in Long Beach than anywhere else to live because Orange County, you're too far out the way, not too far to go back and forth to LA all the time, but
It's just an
yeah,
annoying
being in
drive.
LA is just too much like
Yeah.
noise at the same time.
Yeah, I like Orange County because of how the space you get from everything, and you can park, bro. There's always parking. But LA is definitely funner. There's a lot more shit to do. I just I just got back from I was like in Valencia. Is it Valencia or something? Bro, it's like like I think Orange County's the suburbs, but over there it's like in the hills.
Yeah,
So it's like, dude, that there's like nothing out there. Yeah, what you think about the LA push pop?
smooth. I like it.
This is my favorite strain right now at my work. We're like strain hunting right now though. We're testing some new. We just got some that we're gonna finally throw into a room.
Hey, shout out to you for rolling all the joints right
Oh
before
yeah,
this podcast.
yes
He was
sir, bro.
like twisted them all up himself. I was like, damn, man, he did it like relatively fast time. So I was like impressed with his abilities and stuff. And this is some cake. I would say definitely fire. I
Yeah, yeah.
like it. I like it.
Thank you, bro. You already know, dude. Got hospitality, dog. You come over here. You hit my pod, bro. I got you rolled up. Got you some weeds rolled up. I
That's
don't know.
one thing too that I was trying to give to people because I got a good deal on some weed. So I
Saw
was like,
that.
you know what? I was gonna give back to people who are supporting me, getting a ticket to my next fight. So it's still out there. I don't know if this pod will drop before or after, but I was giving everybody a deal, still giving them a deal. They get a free eighth and a t-shirt when they get a ticket. So shout out to everybody who's supporting and did support or will support and is still supporting. So yeah, no, I appreciate all the people who freaking because the community that we've built off of the Friendly Fade Factory are true like bonds that we have with these people. It's not like they're fans to us or whatever. They're like actually true parts of the community, people that I look at like brothers and sisters and stuff like that. So it's like cool to meet people that are, into fighting and like that because outside of people who have never seen a gym before or afraid to go to the gym, maybe they can't even afford a membership, or somebody who like a single mom or whatever like that, like that's just trying it out, like it's something that that it's exposing them to something that they'll never otherwise be exposed to.
Yeah,
So yeah.
yeah, for sure, dude. You should throw an event in moms moms only or something.
You should do like Mother's Day.
Yeah, Mother's Day. That'd
Day.
be
You
hard
gotta.
as fuck, dude.
Oh, you gave me a good idea. All
Shout
right,
out, dude.
for sure. Mother's Day event.
You know what I mean? But
Feel
dude,
like we
so
would have done it anyways, but definitely like maybe think about it right now.
yeah, I mean that'd be time to throw it on Mother's Day too, bro.
Yeah.
All the moms that
What day is Mother's Day? And we got to do a Father's Day phase.
don't.
Father's Day phase would go crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's
you be
good.
like,
We're
you
gonna
gotta
run
bring
it
your
back
kid
to
though,
back.
dude. We gotta verify you have a kid, so you
Yeah,
gotta bring him.
exactly. Yeah, no, for sure. We've had people bring their kids all the time. It happens like all the time. Like it's that type of
Environment.
environment where they
Yeah,
can watch them.
Are you because
all that stuff.
are you guys like you guys aren't drinking and stuff, right? Are you or what?
It just depends. Like when,
gotta
on
do
the
low key or
21 and
what?
plus events where there's no kids and stuff like that, where we're serving alcohol or not necessarily like serving alcohol. There's like people there probably like
Just bring
selling
their own shit,
alcohol, bring
yeah.
your own shit or whatever. And people are selling merch and weed and stuff like that. So yeah, it's a mix. But for the times when we're outside at a park, anybody could come. I don't know if you saw if you look on the story right now, there's a baby that was like watching the fights as they were going on and like people having a picnic a bunch of people. Like, yeah, so I would say definitely like yeah, everybody is welcome when we do those type of public events like that, because that's about bringing the community together. And we
Yeah.
see that when we do it in Long Beach here, it's like Signal Hill, the Hilltop Park. Everybody loves to come there for the sunset. I don't know
It's a
if you've been
sick
to
park.
that park. It's
Yeah,
an
it's a sick ass
amazing,
park. I love that
beautiful
park.
view. And we'll probably generate 100 comments on the videos. This is dope. Where is this at? I love the view.
Yeah.
Other than the fade, this is an amazing, beautiful
It's a good
place.
park.
And it's just like, yeah, this is, and then people will comment like, this is like a level on Street Fighter or Tekken. I'm like, damn, what is this new map that we've unlocked? And it's like, yeah, we have a very interactive comment section, so I love it. I love it.
That's a sick park.
John Jones commented on our video.
No way.
We did a backyard fight where this boxer, I won't say his name because he's actually a USA boxer. Well, you can find the video. It was just a spar. So that's why it doesn't matter. Like, they basically caught a little friendly fade. Him versus this guy who just started doing MMA. He was like a college hooper, and he was confident in himself because he just started training, and he wanted to. I told him like, there's nobody to do MMA, but somebody could do kickboxing, and it was supposed to be him. He didn't show up because he got called into work. So we had to get this kid who was actually a really good. He was like 13-3 amateur boxer, like trying to turn pro like that year. And he was just like, hey, bro, give me the shin guards. I'll box him. I'll fight him.
He's like,
He's like,
bro,
"All
you
right,
can
bro,
kick me. I
hell
don't care.
yeah."
You know?
Yeah, he was like 165, and the other guy, he was like 190.
Okay, that's
So
pretty
the other
big.
guys, he's a big
It
way
helps,
different, but because he had experience,
Works,
he
yeah,
didn't care.
yeah.
He's like, all right, let's run it. So he hit him with a bunch of super hard body shots, and at one point he got hit so hard, and he was like, can we start over? He looks like came out like, can we start over? I didn't know we were recording, like lying basically, like, and it was
Wait, the
hilarious.
boxer?
Yeah.
Ah.
No, not the boxer. The
Oh, the
other
other
guy,
dude. Oh,
the other
okay.
dude who has just started training
Gotcha.
MMA and thought he had hands, and it was hilarious. So John
Yes.
Jones commented like eyes and shit, like looking like, yeah, it was hilarious because
That's so funny.
that one went super viral.
That's cool.
And I don't want to take 100% credit, but I'll basically say I will take credit basically that I brought kickboxing to people and Muay Thai to people who otherwise would never experience that type of. They've never gotten shin guards and they'll never do it otherwise if it were given to them. So I like that we're giving an opportunity to expand and even show that to new people, because there's a lot of athletic boxers out there that would probably do great in Muay Thai, kickboxing, that has a strong foundation in boxing or whatever, other different talents and stuff like that. And so it's cool. Like, get more people. I'll always love new sparring partners at the same time.
Yeah.
So that's the good and the bad thing. But when they're really good, that's the even better. So iron sharpens iron, but always love to get new people in the game.
Yeah. Does everyone show up in their gym gear and stuff?
No, you'd be surprised. I would say like 80-90% of the people are regular people.
Oh, really?
Even
They're
if they
just-
train at a gym,
But it's not
they
like
not do
they're
it.
casuals or something.
Yeah, there'll probably be like a small percentage, like less than 5% of people will ever show up in their gear or whatever. But it's just like casual wear. Some people will bring their tie shirts or whatever. Or yeah, I experienced that before. I was like, oh yeah, he's wearing his tie shorts. It's like he definitely wants to do kickboxing, so I'll pull out my shin guards and ask him. And
Yeah.
he's ran into that before. And
Sick.
yeah, no, catching fades with random people is the best part,
Yeah.
because I definitely had way less hands before I started this. And you could do this at a gym and go to other gyms and spar with other people, but doing it the way I did on the internet, getting clout, like the first time I ever went super viral, and it probably has like 4.7 million views right now, 4.6 million views on my Instagram. I'm wearing a suit fighting this cholo looking guy, but he's just an R&B singer. The homie, his name is Genesis One. But basically he looks like a tatted up cholo dude with his shirt off, and I'm over there wearing like a church outfit. I have like a blue plaid button down and like slacks that you would wear at the office, and like slippers on. But I was like boxing him and I was piecing him up, and I ended up dropping him. But it has like 70,000 likes and stuff. Like, Hurricane Chris commented on there. Like a bunch of different like random people have seen that, or like they'll and it's caused people to like recognize me in public off of that like little bit of different videos. And not only that one, there's other bigger ones too, but that's like probably the biggest one, and that was since July of last year. So it's just trying to like go up off of that and keep the ball rolling, the momentum rolling. Started the page because I never thought people were commenting, yeah, he stood on business, he's like strictly business, and I was like, oh, that's a hard ass nickname, I'm gonna call myself strictly business. That would be a good. I didn't give it to myself at that point. It was just like people were calling me he's strictly business. Yep, that's like that was crazy. So I was like, yep, there's a bunch of funny comments too, a bunch of funny ass comments, like when your insurance sends a rep out or whatever, yeah, or something, or when you asked a McDonald's manager for extra sauce, and it was just I looked like a McDonald's manager. So
Yeah.
that was funny, bro. I'm not gonna lie, and yeah, I love to. Now I kind of just utilize that as like I want to be legit fighting at the same time, but using my platform to try to like maybe even get into the celebrity boxing.
It's exposure, bro. That's what it
Maybe
comes down to, bro. You know what I mean?
do like some influencer Muay Thai, even though there's no money in Muay Thai like that. Like
That'd be
do like
so
a card.
tight.
I want to do
That'd
something
be so
like
tight,
that.
bro. Yeah.
Like bring it more mainstream, because Speed. I Show Speed was doing Muay Thai. He went to Cambodia, did Kung Mai, and he went to the gyms and shit. Like so. Um, it's cool. I definitely think there's an audience for in a space for celebrities to grow Muay Thai like that, and see just the sport get bigger. So no, definitely that's the goal.
Yeah. Yeah, you could do it at Fade Factory, bro. You could set up like local celebrities first, start with locals and then move
You'll
up,
be
bro.
surprised who wants to fight. It's
Rappers.
really a lot. Yeah, rap. I was gonna say that.
Yeah, I know you know
That's
some
funny. You took
rappers
the
and
words out
shit.
of my mouth. I was like, bro, some rappers and stuff. Ralphie the Plug wants to come
Yeah.
fight. Like it's funny. It's hilarious. Just a bunch of different people. We've had what's his name? A lot of local people that are really tapped in. Stoned right now. I'll get back to it.
Bro,
Go
hit up
ahead.
start tagging Slightly Stupid, bro.
Yeah,
Dude,
yeah, Slightly
Dude,
Stupid,
he said
the
something with
band.
that, bro. That'd be tight,
Yeah.
dog. Just be like, bro, it's just sparring, dude. Who cares? You know, it'd be tight.
Yeah.
Have you heard of Fight Circus?
Fight Circus?
It's like it's a promotion that does like they do a bunch of funny shit, dude. They had this one event where it was the promoter. He fought two midgets.
Oh,
I don't know if you see that. It was some
I
white
think
dude.
I've seen that.
And then he's got
Yeah.
like Blob Tang. That's like his one of his
Yeah,
fighters.
okay, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Dude,
Yep.
I love that. They're gonna be coming to California soon.
That's cool.
Yeah, I was talking to the guy that runs their page.
Gotta check it out.
This dude.
Yeah, hell yeah, that's hard. Yeah, I know Blob Tang.
Blob Tang, baby.
Yeah, he's a beast.
Yes,
I've
sir.
always wanted to do that. I wanted to make like an underground, like a smoking match like that, where people are just squabbling up, doing Muay Thai, and then just smoking in the midst of it. Or there's also, I don't know if you've seen, it was another viral reel from some months ago. This guy was explaining there's like weed boxing in Thailand but you either share a joint or you guys both hit the bong.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he was explaining it that way, and I remember like saving it at the time or sending it to someone. I was like, bro, I want to do weed boxing or weed
That should be tight.
Muay
Bro.
Thai, like that ritual.
Joe Shirley, he used to have a thing. What he used to call it? Bro, high rollers was the jujitsu and smokers with the Z.
Yeah, how can we sanction that in Muay Thai right now? Like,
You
I
can
would
do it in
love to
Vegas,
just fucking
bro.
just like sit there and be right across from my opponent, like smoking weed, and then just go straight to fighting him.
Yeah,
I mean,
dude,
I do that all the time.
Vegas, bro, you
Anyways.
could do it in Vegas.
Yeah,
Yeah, Joe Shirley had an
Alright.
event. It was called Smokers with the Z, and it was like where you
Oh,
just get high
shit.
and the winner would get a pound.
damn. Oh, was that the one where he did a bunch of tournament? Was
He
that
did
him?
two of them. Yeah, that one.
Like a
He-
big tournament, like a 1 minute fight.
I don't remember. It was like 2 minutes. I
Well.
think it was 2 minutes. They're kind of like they're basically like PKVs
Yeah.
because I don't think they would sanction like knockouts for like getting high and shit.
Dude, there's this other, I don't know if I don't think it was Joe Schilling, but there's this other UFC fighter that just did it recently. Like 100-man tournament, 1 minute boxing fight with MMA gloves. I don't know how he got away with it, but basically he's in a different state. He wasn't in California, but Yeah, no, he was just basically got a bunch of people to sign up. They won $1,000 or whatever for a 1 minute boxing fight, and like it was just a big like field that trickled down or whatever.
Yeah, wait,
But
so
yeah,
they're
no, that's
doing
what
it
I'm
high though,
saying.
or what?
No, oh
Oh,
well,
oh,
I
it's
don't
just right.
know.
Oh, it's just a regular tournament. Okay, okay.
Yeah,
Master Sean, what's his name? Master Sean, I think the IFS dude. He has an event. It's called where it's like one round. The first round I think is boxing. The second round is Muay Thai, and I think the third round is Jiu-Jitsu. And
yeah,
it was called Triple Threat. I think is what they
yeah. They
called
do
it.
it at IFS. Yeah, right now.
Yeah, yeah. I like the concept, dude. But then I realized watching them that the main problem with that event, and I've spoken on this on the podcast after I saw it. I think they need to have more time because you start off in boxing range and boxing rule set, right? And you got to feel them out and you
Yeah,
get your range from your hands. And then right when you start getting comfortable, round ends, kickboxing range now. So now I got to
yeah,
adjust to like legs being thrown at me, styles changing now, you know?
yeah,
And then you finally get comfortable, jujitsu round, you know what I mean? I
yeah.
kept seeing that. I was like, I like the idea, bro. They can make it work, but I was like, I think they need to give him more time though, dude. I think honestly it should be like 3 minute round boxing, you know, maybe 5 minute round
Yeah,
Muay Thai, maybe 5 minute rounds each, honestly, bro. For sure for the gist, you're gonna
yeah,
need like 20, 30 minutes, you know?
yeah.
But
That would be hard to do when there's like a lot of people like they have on the card and
yeah,
shit.
yeah, that's the other thing too. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
You know, it's funny. My boy right here who's
I
passed
saw
out.
that, bro. I'm gonna get some footage of that
he
shit later.
was he was he was supposed to fight. So last year on my birthday, I was born on October 25th. That's my birthday, and he was fighting at IFS and at Anaheim in the just a little PKB that he had, like a combative sparring, and he was supposed to fight this older guy in a in a multi same thing. He was doing boxing, kickboxing, and MMA or whatever. Or no, it was boxing, kickboxing, combative jujitsu. That's what it was, the blend or whatever that they had of fights that they had for him. And he backed out. That guy backed out last minute, and they got somebody else to fill in. And it was this huge guy. He took the fight at 185, thinking he was gonna get this old guy. And at the last minute, they had to switch it to this guy. He was like 6'4", 185, super long knees, and he was just like holding my boy right here. Just and it was fucked up because that was fucked up. Like I love to go to the fight either way, and that's my guy. But he lost on my birthday, and it was crazy. So I
Yeah.
wanted him to win, but I made me remember my birthday for sure last year, and when he competed on October 25th, and yeah, it's hilarious. He'll tell you. And the guy he fought is actually a super nice guy. It's
Yeah.
always funny when you meet somebody and you fight them, and afterwards you just the one they turn out to be super chill
Yeah.
or whatever. People
Most
always
people,
think
most
about
people
like
are,
getting
bro.
mad at their opponent or whatever. We got a lot in common. Most of the people would fight against.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, most people are cool. It sucks when you meet people that aren't cool, and then you're like, bro.
yeah. Like they're like weird or whatever.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
fucking weird, bro. Like, dude, martial arts didn't show you out. You're just an asshole, like because you're supposed to be an asshole, you know what I mean?
Right.
Because most people, like, there's a lot of people start off as assholes. That's just how life is, bro. But like, things in life help you out. Like, martial arts is one of them for sure. You know what I mean?
And I think that's one thing that like comes up a lot for me, like the reasons and why I do it and everything like that. Like I feel like I'm late to the game. So starting at 26 is when I just turned 27 when I first took my first ever PKB, and then getting my first ever sanctioned fight and everything like that. But having just such a big like resume online with the factory and stuff, I feel like it's definitely kind of push. Whoa, I forgot what I was gonna say. What was I gonna say? My bad.
World peace, pushing world peace.
No, yeah, fuck, I forgot what I was gonna say.
You're talking about how you're late to the game.
Yeah, oh yeah, something like that. But I definitely had a chip on my shoulder. I'm not burnt out. I never had any major injuries and anything like that. So for me, more it's I want to try to push it as far as I could go, and maybe potentially go pro with Muay Thai, and maybe I really want to travel. Like that's my goal, is like to be able to travel off this, go to Cambodia and fight, Thailand and fight, which is very obtainable. It's not out of the picture at all, even for people who aren't super big. But like to do it as a pro and get paid to go out there and paid to fight, paid to win, like that. That would be ultimately the best thing that could ever happen because that would be, yeah, enjoying what you do and people up. Uh, there's nothing better than that.
Yeah.
Nothing better than that.
Yeah, man. And, you know, nowadays too, you just take a camera with you, and that's like another side, like another revenue of income. You know,
Yeah.
just doing little like videos while you're out there training. And
That's what's hilarious. That's what okay, and I'll kind of give that story too at the same time. So, boom, the picture that I showed you before we started the podcast, I was super overweight. At that time, I was doing videography and I wasn't active at all. I wasn't really going to the gym. I was just fat, working and stuff like that, kind of just shooting, not necessarily taking care of prioritizing my health or whatever. And um I started to shoot for the gym Hardworks and I met well, I'll start off with this. So I was shooting different brands, right? At the time. And I linked up with the weed brand that needed some content and I basically became their strategist, creative director, how I wanted to kind of help promote the brand, become bigger because they were from the Bay Area. They're trying to break into the LA scene. I was like, all right, we got to kind of just get better content. So I hired an editor, got better videos made, shot it myself, sent the footage out, created more marketing tactics, started to do promotions with different people that were local, that were big. So I started to meet fighters and I came across Evan Bolton, LBC kickboxer,
shout out
funny
Evan
on my
Bolton.
on my explore page, and yeah, I was like, I wanted to do a sponsorship, so I told him, I gave him the logo to put on his shorts. And basically paid him to be like, hey, shout out to David Cannabis for sponsoring me. You know, they got the best cannabis or whatever. Come hit them up if you need it or whatever. So it was actually pretty hilarious that and you know, it ended up being a really successful like collab. Like he got a lot of likes or whatever. And it was just basically just like all you gotta do is like, oh, I gave away free tickets. That's what it was. So I bought 2 tickets from him, and then I gave away those 2 free tickets and had him do like, oh, all you gotta do is follow the cannabis page or whatever. And I was doing content. And I was like, oh, let me meet him now after he fights. But what was crazy was his only pro loss. It happened right after I sponsored him. He got knocked out. It was insane. And I was like messaging him like, bro, don't quit. Don't worry. And now see, when I first started, it's kind of cringe now. Yeah. Looking back, I was like, oh, but I was just genuinely a fan.
Knew stuff. He was like, it's just a bad day at the office.
Yeah, he's like, don't even trip. Like, it is what it is. And he was like kind of laughing. I was like, it's crazy how everybody was like, are you okay for a minute? Because it was just, he hadn't lost like that or whatever in a minute. But it was just, you know, it was just kind of in crazy fashion getting KO'd and stuff.
Yeah.
But
was that your
I told
first
him,
time?
yeah, that was my first time. I was like, bro, I was like super stoked. I was like, damn, I even though he lost, that was epic.
Yeah.
We sponsored this guy and he goes off, he's wearing the pants and stuff. And I was like, the next fight doesn't matter. We'll do it. And I told him, I was like, hey, bro, like, that's crazy that you lost. In your next fight, I want to film a documentary for you. So it's on my other Instagram, the Touchdown Films one, where I did a whole 3-part docuseries leading up to his next fight where he got a teep to the face knockout.
Sick.
So it was like a crazy ass fight that he beat some Cambodian fighter named Preston Soroy. And he was like a high ranking, like 147 pounder.
Yeah, I think that's how he got was that how he got his
world title? That's how he got the world title.
Yeah, I think that was
he beat him.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was like a huge match, and it looked crazy. He clipped him with just a front kick, and he just went to the floor. Like, did you see that?
Yeah.
So, no, I recorded that, and it's
like long ass legs too, bro.
Yeah,
like,
so
dude.
That inspired me. I was like, damn, this dude. He told me his story, how he like just kind of just came to the gym after he got out of high school, and he just wanted to learn how to fight, but he always wanted to learn how to fight. And I feel like that clicked with me too, because like I always played a lot of fighting games and shit. Like I always wanted to learn how to fight. And then I'd see it translate to see my whole, you know, body transform, get better technique and stuff like that. And then have that reassured with the Friendly Fade Factory doing the PKB. That once I did my first PKB, that taught me that like really took a lot of nerves off me. I was like, okay, against another trained opponent who's for real, like I could actually compete. So let me take it further and then do a full contact, because I got long story short, in my first ever PKB at Royal Combat, I got banned or disqualified for like pushing my guy back, but he ended up getting pushed into the judges table and knocked over like trophies and like that in the match. It was in the third round, so I was winning. I was beating him. Like
What? So
it was
they
really
just.
like.
But how'd you get disqualified though?
So he said that was too aggressive, and like he gave me too many warnings to like not do that. But he felt like it was like I don't know. One of the judges got offended or something like that. That I like pushed him into the judges table, and the full video is on the Instagram and shit. But you got to check it out. Like that was my first time ever. I ended up getting gassing out in the second round, but I was trying my hardest, and I think I did. Fairly good for my first ever time even trying that. And it's hard because I feel like, I'm already late to the game, and they wanted me to fight these PKBs where I have to hold back on the head power. So I don't really know really where I'm at. And it's became more of a cardio thing. And no, I'm kind of happy that I went through that my first performance, and it gave me the confidence to know that I could hang in there. And even though I didn't win, I got disqualified, like doesn't count as a loss for me. Like it was really just a lesson. Obviously, all losses are lessons, but didn't win. But it was a cool little experience. But no, I definitely know that I took the right route, because had I just jumped into it, then I wouldn't got experience. I'm adding like a level to my game every single time that I compete or whatever. I feel like I'm learning more and more at this time, just soaking it in as much game. And I have a lot of good people that help me out at the gym. Obviously, my two coaches, Omri, Ron, Padilla, Justin Padilla. He's me and him and other. I don't know the other guy you interviewed as well, Aaron. He's actively competing, so we'll train together sometimes. But other different kind of OG students who aren't competing anymore, passing on game that they learn from the master himself, or I'll work with other people that are really getting me right, like my boy Kevin. He's kind of behind the scenes, but it's it's cool. It's like been focused on that, and I wanted to stay loyal to the roots where I started at. I actually came to Long Beach Khami Kickboxing when I was about 11 or 12 years old, and I had just started playing football when I was like 8 or 9. So I was like 3 years playing football, but my dad wanted me to try different sports, put me in like basketball, and then he put me in kickboxing, and I really fell in love with boxing, kickboxing, and stuff like that. And I wanted to stay in there, but he made me like pick a choice at the time. He just kind of wanted me to try it if I wanted to go that route versus not doing both at the same time. So I was like, went back and I chose to play football, because as a kid, you're like, what, 11 years old, you want to play on a team or whatever. You don't care about doing a martial art or pushing yourself, because it was hard at the same time, but I did it because I was like, I liked it. And yeah, no, I wanted to come back there. It's always an interest of mine to come back there. So as an adult, I was like, let me pick it back up. And yeah, I definitely wanted to do that. So I ended up going back to the gym where I first ever went to. And I haven't switched any gyms. Like I'll visit other gyms to get some good training, cross sparring and stuff like that. But yeah, I wanted to bring a W to the gym the first time ever competing, and I think it's cool to experience that, and I want to keep going because we have a long lineage of champions that in our gym. We're fun fact, but our gym is the oldest kickboxing gym in Long Beach, and started in like 84, 1979, something along those lines. Is like a gang diversion program, and
Well, that's cool.
yeah, a bunch of gang members or wanting to get out of the streets and learn fighting and like that. So he gave him a place to do that, and it only blossomed from there. 17 amateur champions later, one professional champion as well in MMA. Uh, Here we are, and currently there's no active fighters that have won any champions, and since our guy did in like 2017. So I want to say, I want to reestablish a new culture in there. Me, my boy Justin over here, he's definitely, we're standing on business, and right now the gym is on a 3 fight win streak, and hope to keep that alive, 4 fight win streak.
Yes, sir. All right. Well,
Yeah.
I'm down to end on that, dude.
Hell yeah, fuck yeah, let's do it.
So you wanna link your socials, link whatever you got going on.
Yeah, hell yeah. Hey, if you want to follow me, you can go ahead and drop a follow at I'm Strictly Business on Instagram. Give a follow to my other ats over here at the Friendly Fade Factory, and support the movement. Got hands, not guns. guns down, gloves up. You already know what's going on.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, everyone. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.
Yes, sir.